sports where the takes don't miss. The prof with the stats, the champ with the fist. Water bringing fire, cowboy tie riding bulls. Bulls calling bets, watch the stories unfold. And you're through the eyebrows, running the show. It's High Top Sports, baby. Let's get it. Let's go.
Good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to High Top Sports. We had ourselves an incredible slate of college football games yesterday. We got to talk all about it. Lane Kiffin finally wins the big one, if you will, on the road in Norman. Takes down a wannabe Oklahoma. Take your whitetail back to the Big 12. You guys are an embarrassment to the league. I let Jason know that. He was in shambles. He goes, Florida sucks. I go, at least we beat Texas, and I haven't heard from him since. Rightfully so, okay? Very frustrated with Oklahoma's performance yesterday, but I digress. We'll dive into all of that. There's a video going around of Lane Kiffin saying something, and everyone has their opinion of what they think that he said. We'll have our fun with it as well. Dive into that. Some coaches win, some coaches loses that were on the carousel of hot boards. We'll dive into that. There's a little tidbit from our guy, Zach Albaverdi, that wrote about Jeff Brom, an interesting piece of that I want to go over. And Zach Albaverdi also from On3 gave me a heart attack last night because he tweeted out that Lane Kiffin has signed an extension because they had an incentive. If he won so many amount of games, he would get an extension. So that's what that was. It was completely unnecessary, had me almost throw up. But so it's not like it's an extension that was built in. Okay, guys. So no need to panic. It's where we're at. It's here we are. So look, tomorrow I think everyone's gonna be kind of watching their phones a little bit to see if anything breaks regarding Lane Kiffin. But let's get our guy in here, Cody the Prof, dialed in, looking good, feeling good. How you doing, big fella?
Pretty good. Can't complain.
Ready to rock and roll? Have a good weekend? Have a good bye week?
Yeah, a little bye week poker and ate some food last night and came home with some money.
Ate some food. I love it. Yeah, Cody was sending me photos. He was playing poker with the boys dressed like Napier, I would assume. Had the whiteboard and headset. It was like a Halloween poker party. Is that what we're working with?
Yeah. Yeah, Halloween.
No one else dressed up? Just you? Were you like left on the 19th hole? What's up with that?
No, there were some others. We had Goose and Maverick. And then we had the other good one was refrigerator and beer. So
okay, all right, solid stuff. Good. Look, nice little bye week. We didn't go live yesterday. Took the time to hang out with the family and do all those things. We've been going balls to the wall, if you will, over the last couple of last dang near 30 days almost. And look, we'll get right back into it. Today, and then we'll see about the show tonight. Of course, tomorrow we got 2 shows. Tuesday, we're right back in it. All right. So it's going to be Hate Georgia week kicking off tomorrow, which should be an absolute blast of a time. But the big story right now, again, that we're kind of still lingering around in is that we were really looking forward to see how this Oklahoma game would go. And it's a weird one because obviously for us Florida fans, in my eyes, look, I don't think, regardless of the outcome on Saturday, did I think Lane Kiffin would be Florida's coach by Monday if there was a loss? No. My feeling was that things could move a lot faster. Do I feel like our chances of landing Lane have decreased? No, I don't. I don't feel like they've moved at all, to be quite honest with you. I think it's still pretty wide open, if you will. I think that the loss only would have improved the odds. I didn't think a win would diminish them. So, again, no one really knows what's going on, what exactly he wants to do. He had an opportunity once again, in my opinion, to shut it down. They interviewed him before the game and asked him about the team meeting. And once again, he just alluded to what we spoke about 2 days ago of like, hey, we had new guys on our team, and I wanted to make sure they are aware like these things happen when you're playing well, and it's a compliment to you guys. And at no point mentioned like, I'm not going anywhere or I'm staying here. So all very interesting stuff. I was at a pumpkin patch yesterday, and there was a guy with an Ole Miss fan. I posted a clip of it. Guy was a good sport about it, but it was funny. I had my meta glasses on. I clicked them on because oh, this is gonna be a blast. I walk up to him and hey, go Gators. And he laughs, I laugh. But I saw him and a Miami fan. They were both talking later on, and I was eavesdropping for sure. And they were talking about just what would be. They're like, I kind of came in late, and he goes, "Yeah, man, I'm nervous." The Ole Miss guys, like, I don't feel good about it at all. And Miami goes, "Yeah, me either, man." He goes, "We do not want Florida to be good again. We do not want Lane Kiffin to go to Florida." So it's funny to hear these guys, other people, just literally fear strike down them of knowing what could happen if Lane were to leave. Ole Miss, obviously, in a different boat. You don't want your coach to ever be threatened to leave either. So I'm sure that's going to be a problem as well. I'm hoping to get Uncle Lou on here on Wednesday to get his thought and his perspective of it as well. Again, just the fear is if Lane is to come to Florida. Obviously, too, the big one that really I think shook things up. I saw Ole Miss fans were more concerned of LSU. LSU gets absolutely obliterated, and we're going to talk about this game more tomorrow. Marcel Reed Heisman talks later on this week on our morning show, but obliterated. And the fan base was gone by the third quarter. There was nobody there. They're being booed. And I find all of this ironic because we as Florida fans were thrashed these past 2 weeks of how we acted and how we're toxic. And we acted like this with a much more worse performance. Keep in mind, Brian hasn't lost more than 3 games. Now, he's on the cusp of having his worst season since he's been there, but not nearly worse of experience. The LSU job at this point seems to be open, Cody, you think?
No, I think the buyout's just going to be too much. I mean, they owe him a crap ton of money. I think they're going to wait 1 more year. Yeah, I think it's like $70 million or something.
Holy crap, man. These coaches, man, really locked in their seat here. $53 million. $53 million. I don't think it's that much.
It's a lot of money. Here's the problem though. Right? I think 70 million because they just locked in that whole defensive staff. That whole defensive staff is brand new.
So
those guys weren't cheap.
It's going to be up there. I don't see it. I genuinely don't see it. I don't see it happening.
Yeah, neither.
No, I know. I don't see him making it.
Oh, I think he'll make it. I think this is just a down year for LSU. They've kind of missed on some guys. They're very young offensive line.
Quick, how much did Penn State just pay James Franklin to not coach their team?
A bunch, but I think the teams are both at a little bit different. I didn't.
Hold on, no, you're not gonna. How are they different? Let's stay on this track for just a second. How are they different?
I think that LSU and LSU fans knew that this wasn't a year that they were going to win the national championship. There was so many questions about the offensive line, about Nussmeier gets hurt very, very early. Yeah,
Cody, you just woke up. We'll give you a second to swing around if you want to like pinch yourself real quick and remember what day you're at.
You think that where was LSU ranked compared to Penn State at the beginning of the year?
Well, I mean, sure, you can have 2 teams at number 1. I understand that. Penn State was number 2. LSU was number 8. What are we talking about? You have Garrett Nussmeier, who was favored to win the Heisman. This team was poised to go win a national championship.
He got hurt before week 1.
No.
Yeah,
no, LSU was favored to win the SEC. No, I listen, this is where you're wrong. Now, you may have not felt that way, and I will give you 100% credit on that. You pushed back. You didn't think that LSU was going to be ready. Everyone and their mother thought that this LSU team was poised to win the SEC and go after and get it. You have Garrett Nussmeier. You were in the best situation possible than any other SEC team in college football when it came to having an experienced quarterback. And then you went out there and absolutely unloaded your checkbook in the defensive portal, right? And so the injury bug thing for Nussmeier too, like they came out and said that he wasn't hurt. So you can't play that peg of like, I know that, but the expectations were not reset because of that noise. And Brian Kelly kept saying it was the best offensive line he's ever had. So no, the expectations were through the roof for this LSU team. The most that they have been since he has been there. Just year 4, bro.
Brian Kelly is also a politician. He's a liar. I mean, he's through
what
and through.
You felt and what was actually being felt across college football are 2 different things. This is year 4.
Maybe I was off right on my take, but off on my meter of what I thought they were. Because I didn't think they were a national championship.
You said
contender.
That. I agree with you. You said that. But if you were thinking that the consensus that everybody else didn't feel that way, that isn't the case at all. I think that the expectation for this LSU team was I would put it up there in the category of Clemson and Penn State.
I think there was a lot more questions to LSU than some other teams. We didn't know if the defense was going to show out. Bunch of transfer. It wasn't very good last year. They haven't been able to run the ball since he's been there, Brian Kelly. Another question mark, are they going to be able to run the ball now? Still can't really run the ball, especially when Green went down, their tight end, because they like to go like extra bunch
No, I'm
tight,
not
like a
disagreeing
wing
with
T
you, but
offense.
the expectations coming in were
I,
massive. That's the only
hey,
thing that I'm
because
saying.
Josh Pate says that he thinks they're going to be good doesn't mean they're going to be good.
Look,
Doesn't mean
I thought they were
they're
going
a
to be much better too, but
national
I hear
champion
you.
contender. I think if you broke down the roster, there was a lot of questions. There's a lot more questions on that roster than a lot of other rosters.
See that part I disagree on. I think they had a lot of talent from the secondary that they brought in, especially on that defensive line. The defensive line is extremely talented. O-line, I agree with you, very young. Interior defensive line was a question mark. We talked about it plenty on this show. Cade Durden was one of the top running backs in the SEC, so I don't feel like we expected them to drop back as far as they did. And Garrett Nussmeier has been completely dog water. You had him as your top quarterback as well too. So all those things, in my opinion, again, the expectations were there, and I think that I would be shocked if he made it. But look, I think there's a lot of coaches this year that have kind of surprised us teams that have surprised us based on them getting the support, right? I think Wisconsin was one, Auburn not getting the support, and them finally doing what we've been clamoring for. They benched Jackson Arnold and finally pull off a close one against Arkansas. Arkansas has just been on the cusp every week with Bobby Petrino at the helm, but that's another story for another day. So the SEC is about to get buck wild. And look, I think if you're LSU and there's smoke around this Lane Kiffin train, I don't see it. Personally, I don't see it. Everyone thinks that LSU, and I understand where people want to argue that LSU is a more higher tier job than Florida. Had a good conversation with a buddy about it last night. I mean, if you want to take it, sure, I'm not going to argue with you about it. But my thought process is on that is the Lane and Florida connection are much more like serious and reasonable, in my opinion, than him going to LSU.
Yeah, I have to agree there too. LSU really, really wanted Jimbo Fisher before they hired Brian Kelly. He was all tied up in that big contract with Texas A&M. I don't know if they circle back the wagon to go get that guy. He's been out of coaching for a little bit. But I just don't expect, unless it's a complete collapse, I don't expect Brian Kelly to be gone yet. I think I haven't looked at the back half of their schedule. They might have some winnable games.
Oh, it's brutal. Oh, no.
It?
Oh, it's brutal. That's what I mean. I'll pull it up here in just a minute. Real quick. Look, I don't think the LSU job is higher than UF. And for me personally, that's what we were talking about, right? We look at it from a historical value. I think that's where LSU kind of carries the edge, and that's what people point to. But the way that I look at it is when both programs are at its highest point, when both programs are winning or competing for national championships, they're unmatched. And again, like there's three schools in my opinion. You've got the Ohio State and Alabama that are in a class of their own in the sense that they recruit from themselves. People also claim that LSU is really good because it's the only major school in LSU. So you own the state of LSU. You're able to cook there and really have a great recruiting class just cook for itself. Florida's tough, man. It's a melting pot. And I really thought about this too from a recruiting aspect of like, how does Florida keep losing kids in Florida? Bro, these Florida kids aren't true Florida kids anymore, all right? With the money that's moving around college, just football in general, all these IMGs and these private schools, we're pulling cats from all over the country to play at Florida. So when we say, oh, they're Florida talent, not really anymore. Louisiana is straight up Louisiana talent. All right, that's they were lucky to rip Arch out of there, if we're being quite honest with you. So that's where I think the LSU job has always had the edge in most people's eyes. I think that's changing though with the world of recruiting and how NIL spreads us out a little bit more, where people aren't just dying to stay close to home. Look, I've never felt that it's been that leaps and bounds better. I'm biased, so that's where we're at. No, Brian Kelly has not been fired. We are just assuming that he is, even though Cody thinks he stays around. $10 from Gator Cook, and happy Sunday, fellows. Lane looked great yesterday. Could he be in the running for the LSU job? Well, that's a great question. Gator Cooking, that's what we're talking about right now. I don't think so. I don't see it. Maybe I'm wrong. But I like your Jimbo Fisher take there, and I know that he's trying to get back into it as well.
Yeah, they like him a lot. I don't think they go after Lane. I mean, like I said, I don't know if they fire Brian Kelly yet. But are we there?
Yeah, we're here.
Frozen?
No, you're good. I was not expecting you to have that take this morning. Look, do I think they make it? Does it get canned this weekend? I don't know. I don't think so. They've got Alabama coming up here in 2 weeks. And then they've got Alabama, Arkansas, Western Kentucky, and then Oklahoma. So they could go 3-1 in the last games.
Yeah.
Because Oklahoma does not look good. Oklahoma looks straight up booty cheeks.
And Ole Miss tried to give that game away.
Tried to. Yeah, the Oklahoma team, which was things that I was concerned about early on, was their ability to run the ball or their inability to run the ball, and it's starting to come to fruition. And John Mateer has not looked the same since his surgery. He just does not look like himself, and this defense has not looked very strong either, Cody. This defense that you hooted and hollered about for months on end, it's just not being I
mean, they went against a Lane Kiffin offense, so it's tough. They got a bunch of I got one fly just flying around,
just buzz just attacking you.
Yeah,
dude, they're worse, bro.
The one fly in the whole house,
dude. That's how it was when I was in the garage, bro. I was just coming after you. I was like, "What are we doing?"
I don't even know how we got in the house. But yeah, so I think that Oklahoma has some issues, not running the ball. John Mateer not looking good. I question their wide receiver threats, which, I mean, they really only have one guy. I was wondering who was gonna really break out there. I think that the problem with Oklahoma is, I think they're a lot like Florida. I think that they have splashy players. The defensive line is very good, but the offensive line is just, piss poor. I mean, that is a terrible offensive line. And we saw it last year, or we saw it. Number 56, I think, got blown up like 5 or 6 times by the big nose guard. Like, literally blown up laying on the ground. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, they got torched. Did you see that your boy David Stone chirping Lane at the end? Or I guess Lane chirping David Stone. That was good stuff. That was fun to watch. Let's talk about Lane here for just a little bit more, and then we're gonna move on because look, we've done this every single show. We've talked about this. It's been fun. I've enjoyed it. And I think some people are kind of like maybe be irritated by it. But look, this is the world that we're in. I knew this would happen. So we were all clamoring for Napier to be fired, which I was on board with, and I'll get into that in just a minute. Everyone thought that it was gonna be like we fire and then we move on to the next chapter. Like there's gonna be this weird lull, right? There's gonna be this dead period, and there could be good, there could be bad that comes from it. I don't know. Go ahead.
We're in it.
We're in it. We're in the lull, and
it's
gonna be for a while, right? Especially when your targets. And when I say targets, I mean plural. The only target that isn't currently employed is Franklin, and this is why I keep bringing him up and how he looks more and more appealing. Eli goes down last week. Could he become more appealing now? He did what we needed Lane to do. Because now their odds of making the playoffs went from 50% to 15%. And real quick, sidebar, crazy to think that when we were talking at the beginning of the year, Florida goes 9-3, we're like, Florida's a lock for the playoff. Yeah. I believe that quote heartily. Do I believe that now? Seeing how, like, the fact that we had Vandy and Missouri, one-loss teams going toe-to-toe, and if one team, basically the losing team was eliminated from the playoffs, is crazy to think. Now, Florida's schedule was much more daunting. So I still believe that a 9-3 Florida team probably squeaks in. But, man, it's going to be coming down to the wire here for some of these SEC teams on the outside looking in that have, Vandy controls their own destiny, in my opinion. Oklahoma has 2 losses now. A team that looked like they were going to just march right on in. Ole Miss controls their destiny. A&M's undefeated. Alabama has 1 loss. Georgia has 1 loss. And Tennessee's got that at 2 losses, who looks like they probably should be in, but they're at 2 losses, and I just named 5 teams that are going to be in from the SEC because they only have 1 loss. Like, think of 1 or 0. This is crazy.
It's a mess.
And Ole Miss and Georgia don't. So think about it. Alabama and Georgia already played. That's those two. Both those teams have 1 loss, right? A&M has 0 losses. A&M doesn't play Georgia or Alabama, I don't believe. Ole Miss has 1 loss. Doesn't play any of those teams that I just mentioned. And who's the other one that has 1 loss?
Vandy.
And I don't think Vandy plays any of those teams that I just mentioned.
They play Tennessee, but yeah, at the end. Oh, for sure.
My battery almost died. They have 2 losses. So those are 5 teams that are going to have 1 loss, and it's going to come down to the 2 teams in the SEC are going to be automatic. It's going to be nuts. It's going to be absolutely nuts, I believe, because I don't think there's any much more crossover at the end here. Let me see what Vandy has. Yeah, Vandy has Texas, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Auburn. This is crazy. So, yeah, okay. So A&M, Alabama, Georgia, Ole Miss, Vanderbilt, they all have 1 or 0 losses. They don't play each other. The top 5 teams in the SEC do not play each other. So there's not going to be any crossover battle there. Now, the one thing that Georgia has Georgia Tech, which will be a big one because that's a ranked game. That's going to be a good game. That could
last night.
And if Georgia isn't in the playoffs, let me make sure Georgia doesn't play A&M. Gosh, they don't. This is crazy, bro. Alabama has to play A&M, right?
It just shows you how hard some schedules were and how weak the others were.
Yeah, they really kind of. Yeah, Alabama doesn't play A&M. This is wild. Wild how this thing's shaking up. 5 teams in the SEC are more than likely going to get in outside of some sort of disaster. Now, Vandy could drop to any one of those remaining teams. They got Texas, they've got Kentucky, and they've got Tennessee, which is going to be a tough one too. So look, there's games that can be dropped. Let's not get twisted. That Alabama-Auburn game is going to be interesting. Let's just leave it there. That one's going to be dicey. And Alabama tried to throw this game away this past week. So, man, crazy stuff.
It's going to get interesting. I would hate to be the playoff committee. So they're going to have to figure it out.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. What was I saying about the lane thing? So let's talk about this. Let's get into the T's here just a bit. I want to play 2 things, and then I want to get into the second tier of coaching. All right, I think it's important for us to have this conversation here. This is from Charlie Weiss Jr., the offensive coordinator, who posted this on his Instagram, and he tagged Gators football. I love it. I like, this is how you smack talk, right? You don't attack your own fan base. You know who you are. He posted the photo of the video that's going viral that we're going to play here in just a minute of him screaming at the small little fan base at Oklahoma. And he says, look, and he puts out, he's staying at Gators football. So the noise is loud. Everyone is hearing it. It's hard to hide from it. This doesn't make me feel great being his offensive coordinator, but it's also gamemanship. So I'm not going to read too much into it. But this one was stung a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not worried about anything that comes out until after the deal is done. Whoever we get, then we can look back and say, hey, obviously there were signs or all this, is for nothing. So I think it's interesting, but I think it's just Lane Kiffin typical
trollmanship.
And I think I think his staff's kind of rubbing off on Lane's kind of rubbing off on the staff there.
Oh, for sure. I mean, you see how Billy rubbed off on our staff. He also tweeted out because Lauren Rutledge and Tebow picked Oklahoma at their SEC pick'ems, and both people are UF alums. And he retweeted that slate, and he tagged Tebow and Lauren and said, So I love it. That was the first I think we've seen him play into it, right? I mean, like, I would say, I'm sure he's been playing into it with his tweets all week long, but I would say blatantly, like, roll into the troll, if you will.
What happened?
What's the matter? We're good, bro. You're.
What happened?
What do you mean? What happened? Y'all can hear me, right? Just Cody that's happening.
I'm stuck. I'm frozen.
Yeah, we're rocking. I think it's you, Cody. Hop out, hop back in. Real quick, couple super chats, which I appreciate. $5. Hey, Sheldon, I personally changed my opinion on Franklin. I'll take him second. Also, can we get a cigar can we get cigar recommendations? I'm not probably the best, to be honest with Jacob T. Thank you, man, for the $5. And yeah, look, we're gonna talk more about Franklin here in just a minute. For the cigars, bro, here's my thing, man. I think people love different types of cigars. I had a couple guys give me David Street, another guy give me some great cigars at the game, which I was greatly appreciative of. But for me, it's a cheapo cigar, bro. It's a good old classic acid cigar. I get them at my local Publix for like $10. Got a nice little sweetness to it. Kind of does the thing. But I obviously, like, they're probably not the best cigars, but I just, they kind of work. It's kind of one of those things, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, you know? So I'm not, bourbon, I can give you better recommendations. Cigars, I just, you know, I'm not going to act like I know what I'm talking about, because I don't. My man, $50. I am Harper. Appreciate the $50, man, this beautiful Sunday morning. Thank you for sharing real information on every potential coaching using real data, and this is the reason why I love your show, because you keep it real. Yeah, look, man, I think I talked about it a couple of days ago. I think some people were trying to say, like, oh, you're just some kind of shell or blah, blah, blah. Just trying to take some shots here. And so, listen, I try to be on the same side in the sense of, like, we're all fans trying to figure these things out. I'll ask questions and hear what's going on, but I try to have a genuine approach to these things and have the best information. Like, and I'd be honest with you. Like, look, for me, like, Elaine is a personable, love the guy choice, right? So there's going to be bias. I could be blinded by my decision there. Like, I want to do this right, just like everybody else, and know what we're talking about. So that's what we try to do. And we have some great charts. The internet's a great place. Twitter is phenomenal, and I get a lot of great content from there. Astute Gator put together a phenomenal little chart for us, which I've been talking about doing this. The chart doesn't, I would say, encompass everything that I want it to talk about, but it's definitely a looking point to some coaches, because again, like, Lane obviously is that first option, but you really have to look into all the things into consideration on who can be the right option here. Let's take a look at this video. This video is going viral right now, and look, I love it from the Ole Miss guys. They're taking this and running with it, as they should. Good for them.
For sure.
Good for them. If it was the roles were reversed, I'm doing the same. Look, he threw his hat off later on this clip, and before this, he threw his hat off, and I clipped it and said he's throwing his uniform off to just go put on Gator gear. Like, we're taking anything and everything we can to troll with it, right? But people are, like, running with this, like, actual platforms, as if right here he says, I'm staying. I'm not leaving. Now, unfortunately, this was filmed by ESPN in their 240 pixels. So no one has a clue what he said. I don't understand. There's 90,000 cameras. Look, there's literally 90,000 cameras within a 3-foot radius. And we have like 6 angles, and every angle sucks dog water. The audio sucks. The visual quality sucks. I've seen some better ones than this particular one. On my life, does this man not say, I'm not leaving, or I'm staying? He says, this is my house, or we own this place. Those are the only 2 things that he possibly says. It's crazy. Like, I love, again, for Ole Miss to run with it, cool. But when I saw actual news sources picking it up, I was like, what are we doing? What? Tim Brando had himself a day when he saw this clip. He thought he was back. I was like, easy, Mountain West. Relax a little bit here, big fella. What did you think he said, Cody? Did you see the 9 clips that posted from this?
Yeah, it didn't look like that. I'm not leaving or anything like that. I obviously I'm not. I can't read lips. That's not a talent of mine. But I don't know.
Ooh.
It's funny. It's funny that that he could. I mean, he could have muttered whatever, and they're gonna take anything with and you know, put the match to it.
So
not Charlie Weiss's real account.
Oh yeah, I looked it up personally. You're saying it wasn't?
Maybe.
The chat saying it wasn't? I went and looked. I went and Googled it myself.
I think that this thing is there's so much light on it. I mean, a gnat farts and they're gonna say that they got a scoop. You know what I mean? It's like people are clamoring to see if he's gonna stay or go. It's the biggest news in college football right now. It's just Lane Kiffin if he stays or goes to Florida. I don't think there's any other.
My apologies. I took the bait. That was a fake account. My bad, boys. I'm an idiot.
Sometimes they get us. They're getting.
Yeah, I went and looked it up myself. before I posted it, and that's my bad. I completely did not do a good job there. I typed in Charlie Weiss Jr. and that like the first one popped up. I was like, oh, this makes sense. And it was his story, so I just clicked the story and didn't even late in the night, boys.
Froze?
Okay, huh?
Am I froze?
No, I think you're losing.
I don't know why it keeps doing that. No, it just keeps like free. Like I can only see me.
I hear you. You sound good. All is good on this.
Let me know if I freeze, but we'll keep trugging along here.
Yeah, this is a good point too, Swoller. Ole Miss gets one. Like, bro, they're like, think about it. Like, before Saturday, Ole Miss was in shambles, right? Keep in mind, Ole Miss was 7-0. They're undefeated, and then they go and meet Oklahoma. It's like, all right, now he's not leaving. It's like, bro, they were 7-0 when you guys were blowing your lid just 5 minutes ago. You think the Oklahoma game was the telltale sign? The only reason I was excited for Oklahoma is it would just speed up the process of him getting his ass to Gainesville. This just delays my excitement a couple weeks, possibly. That's all this did.
I think another question is, with all this news and momentum, why haven't they landed more recruits? There hasn't been a Ole Miss recruit in a minute. I've been checking Hayes Fawcett, and it seems like recruits are kind of in the air too, if he's staying or going.
Yeah, look, I think I have a whole other theory on this. In that same breath, nobody's been decommitting either. I mean, no. LSU hasn't had any decommits.
No.
So I'm telling you, I don't know why this isn't being talked about more. I meant to ask Andy Staples, and I completely dropped the ball. But I'm telling you, bro, that thing that happened in June, like these cats have already signed. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'll be bamboozled come December, and we have our national signing day, and the shit goes haywire. I'm not saying cats can't get out of it, but I'm willing to bet that like 80% of these guys have signed some fatty contracts, and they're probably pretty bound, or like, I'm not going to get a better deal elsewhere. It's not just a national letter of intent anymore. No. They signed the checks early. Like, I'm pretty sure they're already getting NIL money now from these schools. Not booster under the bag money. I really think there's actual money being that law. Again, I always ask these questions because like the laws get passed and everyone just kind of talks about them and we move on. I'm like, hold on, dumb this down for your boy. Okay, I need to know what the hell is going on here. And I think the NIL locks a lot of things down. I'm going to chat GPT real quick while we're talking, just to make sure.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. We got $5 super chat. If we don't get Lane, I think is that the BYU coach, Colleen?
Yeah, that's a name that was thrown around the other day.
Would be a great hire.
Yeah, they torched Iowa State.
It's funny how as these coaches win and lose, they kind of reshuffle on the list of who we want.
Yeah, like
except for Lane. He could have lost yesterday, and we were like, he hosed it.
We wanted him to lose, right? Like that's what we needed to have happen. Yeah. So, look at this. So this is interesting because let's get into the secondary coaches now, right? Because and again, I think someone just Scott O2O. Scott O2O does not get enough love, by the way. Real quick, I want to give him some appreciation. All right, Scott. The reason why he doesn't get a lot of love sometimes is that they get into super chats. I'm not asking for super chat Scott's, but sometimes I'm just telling you I overlook them because I put the super chats first. But Scott, I don't think Scott misses a show. Scott doesn't miss a show. Scott doesn't miss a tweet. Scott's been here when we were doing blackjack streams. Winner's point of view.
Yeah.
Scott, we got to send Scott some merch. Like that Scott is an OG. Like a genuine OG. Like I saw him the day, I was like, man, Scott does not get enough love. And I love music. I've never met him, as far as I'm concerned, outside of just the avatar. But I love it. All right. We got our guy Silk here. Again, shout out to those boys, Sam and Gale, with a great panel. The move has really transitioned into James Franklin, and we talked about it. People were giving me flack about it on Saturday, me trolling and whatnot. And so he look, I think that we're all trying to do the best that we can, us being like the Gator content creators, of like how do we remove ourselves emotionally and make a right decision? Like if we were Scott Strickland, that's what I try to do. Let's take the hat off for a minute. Let's put the CEO hat on. Let's go be Scott. We got to make the right decision here. And just because all signs are pointing to Lane Kiffin, because from merchandise sales and excitement and high flying power offense, is it the right move? Is it the right move to go and let's play the game we've been playing all week? Because I've been looking for a new car, right? Is it the right move to go buy the $66,000 brand new van because it's got the nice trim on it? Or do you save $30,000, go find a car with a little bit of miles on it, same technology, maybe it doesn't look as good on the outside, but when you look on the inside, maybe the thing runs. It works. Creme de la creme, my boy. Okay? I make the better financial decision, but I still get what I want. Still get the most bang for my buck. Do you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying we got to be cheap here. I'm not saying we got to be affordable. I'm just saying we don't want to be house. We don't want to be car poor. We don't want to go and spend, buy a $60,000 car and be looking on the driveway and be like, it's sick. We can't go nowhere. But damn, she look good.
Can't afford gas.
She look good, right? I say this because I almost did that dumb decision, and I was like, "This is ridiculous. I don't need that. Let's cut the price in half and get what I still want." That's what we got to find. That's what it is. That's what I think. That's where you have to take that consideration, because if somebody's asking you for $90 million, damn near guaranteed, basically for 8 years, boy, you better put them up. You better put up or shut up. You better put up or shut up.
Natties, right?
It's got to
be hot.
It's got to be. I mean, he's got to show up in the sense how LeBron showed up in South Beach. Not 1, not 2, not 6, not 7. That kind of energy has to arrive in Gainesville if I'm dropping $81 million.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. That's what facts are facts. So
I want to hear no building. This is a process. You're not going to like me. I want to hear none of that.
I wanted the parade before the trophy. I want Miami-esque style type of obnoxiousness if I'm paying you $81 million. Is that going to come with heat? Good. Is everyone be coming after you? Good. Are you going to have a bounty on your head? Good. If I'm paying you $81 million, good. It better be. This is interesting.
But
Corey drops, asks Grok. AI never fails. AI has no personal bias. AI doesn't care about 90,000 strong blowing into choo-choo horns, okay? AI cares about facts, doesn't care about feelings. Hey, Grok, can you give me the top 10 active college football coaches based on resume? Now, also push back, that doesn't give you a full synopsis, because a resume can be skewed. We know that. But it's still a great question. Here's what it pumped out. Kirby. Duh. Ryan Day. We can all agree on that. Dabo Sweeney. All those had a rough patches. We can all agree on that. Marcus Freeman. Here's where, again, this is where this is where you can always just rely on data, right? Because I think Marcus Freeman has done very well in his couple years at Notre Dame. But we also know this position that he rolled into to Notre Dame. He didn't just show up to a dumpster fire, okay? Dan Lanning. We all know Dan Lanning is an absolute dude. And I'm far reckoned. I tweeted out last night. Do you think Dan Lanning's tired of, playing at 2:30 Eastern Standard Time, being on college game day at 5:30 in the morning, having to take his shirt off in 20-degree weather when he could be getting a tan? I don't know. I have questions, Could he be back on the list? He's sweating against a rainy game against Wisconsin. What are we doing? Nobody's even watching, Dan. Come play for the Swamp. Anyways, that's my pitch for the day. Steve Sarkisian done a lot of great things in Texas since he's been there. We all agree on that. Kalen DeBoer, right? We obviously know his success at Washington, and now he's really turned it. I mean, even though he was getting ready to fire last year at Alabama, only lost 3 games, and now they're on an absolute tear once again. DeBoer, the kid can't miss. Sit at number 8. Can you read the name for me, Cody?
James Franklin.
James Franklin. At number 9, Brian Kelly. And number 10, Kyle Whittingham, who I love. Big fan of Wild King. Big fan of Kyle Whittingham.
He's going to retire and ride off into the sunset there at Utah.
Names not on this list that we've talked about.
Lane Kiffin.
Now, again, it's just a resume. We all understand these things, but Drink. James is on there, though.
Jed Fitz, that everybody seems to love.
Hey, Fish is making some moves, though. He got Washington looking nice. He's got Washington looking nice, Cody. Nice.
I don't know. Not my cup of tea for offense there. Why do
you like Brent Key so much? What do you always say? Good guy, love Clark Lee, Brent Key, Braum.
Well, I like.
What do these guys got? What do these guys got in common?
What
do these guys got in common?
Trenches, man.
Brent Key absolutely throttled Fran Brown this past weekend too. I mean, just absolutely. Look, year 4, he should be throttling Fran Brown. So some people kind of give that win.
Fran Brown's on his backup quarterback too. Let's not forget that.
And keep in mind, boys, I kind of signed off on Drink, but Drink lost his guy yesterday. He lost his Bo Pribulu guy. Brutal injury, and still kept it close against a really good Vandy football team. So let's not get it twisted. Now let's get into this little chart here. You know, we're not a big chart guy, but shout out to Astute Gator. I don't like to take credit for that's not mine, but I saw this right before we went live, and this is awesome. It's just numbers, okay? And although we just went over that little Grok thing, this plays things out a little bit more. I think you can kind of see where we're headed here. You've got your talent rank in the yellow, and then you've got your special teams offense and defense, and then the win percentage, I believe is what the SP is. So talent rank and win percentage are my two big things that I'm looking at. I mean, just off the quick rip here. If we're looking, let's kind of look at a trifecta. Let's ignore Marcus, okay? I don't take him into consideration.
100%.
Sorry?
Right, he 100% at right now. 5, yeah.
Yeah, very, very, very interesting there with Brent Key. Again,
kind of a 1 year. It's 1 year.
It's a one offer.
54, 50. Yeah.
It's
Give me a guy that's got.
You're taking the risk there. You now could the risk pay out? It could. You don't know, but it's just with the names that we've heard, you want to go with a little more stability. Okay. And look, Franklin, and this is where Franklin scares me. If you look at this, all top 15 classes except 2021, right? And none cracked the top 10. Being at Penn State, you'd think it'd be a pretty, well roundabout school to recruit, but I think that's pretty healthy for Penn State. They're not knocking anybody's socks off. 85%, 77%, 81%, and of course this year 50% with the win percentage, which has not been great as we know. So, longevity-wise, it just feels like again it hit a plateau. Lanes looks really good. He's done more with less, and you could argue a more talented group, right? 29, 27, hasn't cracked 20, has never had a top 20 class at Ole Miss, and has had 77, 62, 85, 77, and 88% as of this year. And that probably should go up now, I think probably to 90 with the win today. So this, again, just kind of supports the lane movement. Lincoln Riley was a name that's been thrown around, and this is what concerns me about Lincoln. This chart is why I'm fearful of Lincoln, because the defense, obviously, you see is recruited horribly, but the classes were great. You could see those 2021, 2022 were at Oklahoma, and at USC, they've gotten worse, which is surprising. I thought they would improve, and he's won less. Now, the classes have been worse, but what's happening? Is it a lack of feel? Is it just not knowing the West Coast? I don't know. I don't know what the issue is. But very interesting. Very interesting. Marcus Freeman, again, we kind of just went over him, very small sample size. Eli Drink, this is another one who, again, although I know the loss yesterday, but this is why I liked Eli. I've argued that he's recruited well. He's done more with less. Again, a 25 ranked class, 85% win percentage, a 19th ranked class, 77, and 22 ranked class, 75. He has shown progress since he has been there. And let's look at Jed Fish here. Jed Fish has moved around. Jed Fish was at Arizona. I can't remember if 23, where he had the talent rank of 43. And then again, last year at Washington, keep in mind when he took over Washington, that was right after DeBoer left. Okay? Yeah. So keep in mind when DeBoer left, that Washington team was absolutely plucked. There was nothing left. Literally walked into an empty cabinet because they either transferred or they all went to the NFL. Go ahead.
It was like an Arizona-Washington swap transfers.
It was a very strange move. Like he just took it for the opportunity to leap up, but he took it with nothing. And it has them now this year with only 2 losses. I mean, and you could see the turnaround. And took over crappy situations at both scenarios. At Arizona, I think it was only Arizona for a year, and then goes to Washington and literally takes on the worst possible case that you could as a coach. And I was like, this guy has a death warrant and has shown to turn it around at both places. Yeah. You know what's going to be fun one to watch? Let me take a look at this Washington, their football schedule, because they took down Illinois mightily. Illinois is ranked, mind you. They're ranked 23. They beat them 42-25. Washington has 2 losses right now, and I know Ohio State is one of them, and I want to say the other one is Oregon, if I'm not mistaken. No, they got Oregon coming up at the end of the year. That's right, because that's the big rivalry game. Their other loss was to Michigan. Damn, they got throttled by Michigan. 24-7.
I think I remember that now.
Keep your eyes and ears peeled for that Washington-Oregon game. That could be a
big one.
That could be a game where all of a sudden Jedd Fisch, because here's the issue with this too. Okay, like for me, I think we could put maybe I'm ahead of my game here. Is Brom on this list? Brom is on this list. Very similar to Fisch when it comes to talent ranking and win percentage. Can we agree on that?
Yes.
Okay. There was a great article from
concerned that the recruiting kind of dips off a little bit. It looks like
with who?
With Brom.
Are you in my head?
Yep.
Get out of my head, Cody. Get out of my head. So I love Cody. Cody doesn't know what we're going to talk about when we get to these shows. He just I like to keep him on his toes. And there's like Cody, we don't game plan at all. That just shows how like this duo is unmatched. And to be honest with you, that gives credit to everyone that I do a show with, because no one has a clue what they're getting themselves into when we do these things, because I plan sporadically, and that's why I love everyone that we're able to work with, because they are just we build off of one another. It's I don't know how to explain it. It's a hell of a freaking master class, I would tell you. I can't believe I lost this article. Just give me un momento, please. Un momento. Because there's a good little tidbit here.
Yeah, Riot Lashley also dips back too, which is concerning.
I'm off the Lashley train. I was never on it, but
he had his best year last year. I'm just trying to see here.
I can't find it. It was Zach Alberti's article.
You don't want to be having your best years and recruit less. That's not a good sign.
There was a quote about Brom, and it talked about his personality, which we talked about on the panel. So the panel brought this up about him like not being the most like likable guy, if you will. And the concern was like when you go to a school like Florida, you have to go talk to people. You have to be personable. It's not just you go and coach. He doesn't like to have people at his house, like recruits come over. And this is where I think, man, Pilly was so damn close, because he had 90% of it right. Just the 10% he did not figure out was detrimental, obviously. But this just speaks to how big this job is. There's just so much more to it than just calling X's and O's. And that's why this is why we're doing this, why we have these conversations. It's so important to have these conversations. And it's like, will Brom come down to the state of Florida and essentially kiss ass to these top tier recruits? That's what he's going to have to do. Brom, a player himself, an attitude like Swagger. This is why I think the likes of Urban and these guys like Gruden and these older coaches would have a hard time in this new era, because they can't. And I think even Saban, to an extent, he could still walk into a room and demand control. And I think these coaches can do that. But if you're Brom at Florida, you can't just walk in and like, do you know who I am? You got to kiss ass a little bit. Like that, it's a matter of a fact.
Yeah.
Like that's just the world that we live in. These cats are being told they're the man. And there's a way of going about it that you don't have to be a complete loser. But when I read that, it correlated with what we talked about on the panel. I mean, those are concerning, and that's where it's okay if you're starting to get into the lower tier, right? Or because again, we put Lane at tier 1, but after that, man, and I would put James in tier 2 by himself. I genuinely would. Like recruited well at Penn State. Go ahead.
After that, it's a gamble. Per the chart,
it is. Look, I'm not trying to. So being set up. No one will be happy for anyone else. Look, Jim, personally, like, would I be disappointed if it's not Lane? Yeah. Are there names that are on here that would excite me? I mean, for me, I'm a Gator fan, so I'm going to be excited with whatever direction that we go. But yeah, I would be bummed if we don't get Lane. I'm not going to lie to you, but I'm not going to just pout about it, because then I get to go back to hating Lane, which is like, it's fun. Like, he's a guy that you love. Like, you want him on your side, but if he's not on your side, you love to hate him. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
for sure.
This isn't me trying to set anything up. I mean, I'm trying to have genuine, realistic expectations. I've lived in this world now very closely, and it's just like things don't always go the way that you want them to go. And that's life in general. And so that's why it's like when people are like, "Oh, your expectations are going to get too high, and you're going to get disappointed." No, they're not. I don't have control over any of this, so I can't get disappointed, because it's like we don't control it to get disappointed about it. Bohannon, I like this comment too. I have no issue with LeBron being a prick. Most coaches are. I don't think it's about being a prick like just as a coaching aspect. I think it's about being relatable and going in and having and being able to shake. Because Saban's a prick, right? Lane's a prick, but they have the ability to turn it off and on. And that was kind of what the Braum article was saying, that it's not an on-off switch. It's a trait. And that's a hard thing. I talked to my sales guys too of like, look, there's certain traits that make you great as a salesperson. You got to know when to turn it off though. You can't live it, right? So that's where I believe that there could be an issue. So, look, Golish is off the list. Choke job. Not that he was ever on my list. You wanted Golish, didn't you?
I was a little high on Golish, yeah.
You were pushing Golish like 2 days ago, right?
Yeah.
You off the list, or what's up with that?
One game could change. I mean, he's down on the list. I would still be. I mean, I'm going to be excited regardless. But I really like his offensive scheme. I think one game really defines a coach. But when you have a choke job like that, when you're up 21 points, it's that shit ain't gonna fly in Gainesville. I can tell you that.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a brutal loss. Very similar to Lebby.
Yeah.
Let me see. Let me read this. How about a thought exercise of what if none of our favorite coaches want the job? Now what? Well, I think that's what this is.
Paying them. Yeah. Somebody will take the job. Somebody wants the job.
This is a great question too, Jim. People. This is why this is all water cooler talk, boys. Like I'm not trying to push a certain agenda. I'm trying to have like genuine thoughts of like, hey, where do we go? Let me go back to this in just a minute, Jim. A lot of people keep bringing up Clark Lee. And Clark Lee obviously wins a big one on Saturday, has Vandy running around. This chart makes me want to avoid Clark Lee, Cody, because this chart supports what we've argued in light of Brent Key. It's the quarterback movement. It's the Jameis Winston. It's the Jordan Travis. It's the Haynes King. Recruiting class has been similar. It was actually worse this year for Vanderbilt.
I don't like that.
But their winning percentage is tenfold. And when you've got someone like a Diego Pavia, and this is what, look, hey, we can't take credit for this. We had him in our top 4 quarterbacks in the SEC. Now, we probably were a little biased on some other guys, but we were very high on Diego Pavia. And he's been phenomenal. I mean, he's a difference maker. And he is what I think we thought Lenora Stellar would be.
That team's a one-trick pony is the problem. If Diego Pavia, Haynes King goes down, they don't have anything to replace that.
Yeah, you wonder if Diego goes down in light of Pribulu, how does the game go? I think it gets ran away. Obviously, Mizzou was able to hang on with a true freshman that was stepping into the play. Nothing against Clark Lee. I love him. I think he nailed the head on the coffin. Half the battle is getting guys that can play for you. I need consistency. I need proven consistency, and that's where the James Franklins comes in. Look, they're going to have bad years, and that was this year. So there's still a very good data there of recruiting. Lincoln. And even Lincoln, you could see the green on both sides of the ball is recruiting very well. Same thing for James. And Eli Drinkowitz, again, top right. Quick color look. Very, very healthy. Let's look at this. Kiffin isn't losing another game this year. Deep run in the playoffs. Can we afford to wait? Let's bring it back to the big screen, Cody. And let me pull this comment up because I love this comment a lot. Hold on. I want to... Which big higher share? There we go. So people know what they're talking about. Cody sounds like us when Lagway went down. I don't know what he's referring to.
Oh, okay. What if after?
Oh, I said that. I'm not Cody. Don't ever do that again. Real quick though, there's almost 600 people in here, boys and girls. So smash the like button. Happy Sunday to you all. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. A lot of support, man, as of late. Can I take a minute? It's been an hour. I think we can do a quick little plug, little shameless plug. I'm mad my Lane Train shirt is in the wash because I was gonna wear it for today's show. Maybe I'll wear it for tonight if we do another one. But trying to hit 30,000. You can, yeah. While I do the plug, yeah. Trying to hit 30,000 subs is a big goal by the end of the year for us. So if you guys are new and look, maybe you're not a Gator fan, maybe you want to just come in and troll us. Hold on. Looking, we invite all people, right? We're not biased here. I appreciate all of it. So we accept all Bic and Banner, and we love it. But yeah, be sure to sub if you're not subscribed. Turn the bell on. We're putting on a lot of content as of late, having a good time doing it, and it's been a lot of fun. And we're able to do some great things. Also, too, if you guys are like this hat here is our very own. It's our alternative Gator. Check out the got a little on the side here. Check out the shop, high-sport.com/shop. A lot of great stuff on there if you guys want to support the brand. We've got Gator-esque type of gear as well. So if you guys want to look a little bit cuter this Christmas. And maybe if you're a wife watching and you want to get the husband looking extra sexy, go check it out. Go give it a dabble here. We'll wait here for Cody in just a minute. A couple of super chats that I missed that I will read here. Thank you, Joshua, Gator Show, and Gator Gang. I will get to your super chats in a minute. Link the article about Braum. Yeah, I'll drop that article right now about Braum. Actually, again, huge shout out to Zach Alvaverdi for a phenomenal article. Love that guy. Does great work. All those guys do. I love all the beat writers. Again, people are trying to say that we just sit here and read it, which we do. We don't disagree. We don't shy away from it. We're not real journalists. We just. That is a link to the Braum article to get a little bit more to know more about him. And again, shout out to those guys. I think they're seeing these names flying around. They're hearing names as well too. So they're doing their due diligence to try to find out where things are. I'm going to go ahead and start this question because I don't know if maybe Cody fell into a hole. But Kiffin isn't losing another game this year. Deep run in the playoffs. Can we afford to wait? So I was in this panic mindset about a week and a half ago. And then we've had multiple conversations that have made me feel better about it. One we had with Cody, then we had with the panel. My panic was, well, this decision has to happen before recruiting, right? Which is the early sign date is like December 6th. You didn't miss anything. I'm just starting my spiel, Cody, so you just got here just in time. December 6th was my concern date because that's the early recruiting day. But then Cody brought it to my attention. It's like, that's irrelevant. There isn't a coach that we hire that's going to be able to preserve this class. They're just not. And in a way, you might be able to preserve it a little bit better if you can kind of sell a future. I don't know if guys will be willing to wait, but maybe more would be without knowing what the answer is, with hints that it could be somebody. So I was like, okay, I'm on board with that. That's chalk it up then. Chalk it up. The recruitment has nothing to do with it. So now that you've bought me more time, now all that matters is January 1. January 1, he has to be here, personally, because of the portal. Like you've got to make that move happen before January 1 or we're going to be in shambles. That's my thought. So when I heard that, I go, okay, well, this guy can go on an absolute tear. This guy can win the whole damn thing, win the SEC, can go and play in a playoff game. I just need to make sure he doesn't make it to the whatever round gets him over January 1. Now, in that state, thanks, baby. Everyone shout out to the wifey. Hydrating, sponsored by, she doesn't care. The other part of it is like I think if we're in December 15th and we haven't announced a coach yet, Cody, and Ole Miss is still running, I think it tells you all that you need to know.
Be tough.
Because I think at some point, if I'm Strickland, you gotta press the hammer. It's like, dude, I know you're on a playoff run. Good for you. Kudos. But you can't string me along. Like, I think this decision would be made regardless of how far they go. And I would be willing to say that Strickland would take the leap and take the risk. Yeah. I think they would take the risk of possibly not being able to be aggressive in the portal if Lane were to sign. So I think at some point, if they really, really want it, if it's going to happen, they're going to press it. And because they can't, Florida can't also be sitting there, waiting with the bag at hand at the altar while everyone else is signing coaches. So,
well, I think you announce as soon as you sign the deal, regardless of playoff run or not.
We have to. You have to. Yeah, they're gonna have to because you're gonna you can't look stupid unless now it may be signed and they may not and they are not gonna announce it just for the sake of for Kiffin, but it's on paper so they'll feel good about it, which then we'll know then. But all those things are gonna have to take place over the next couple of months. But there isn't a coach that we've mentioned that's not gonna. I would say, in my opinion, every coach that we've talked about has a potential to make the playoffs. Let's go back to this list really quick. All right. Braum is on has an opportunity to play for the ACC championship and go into a playoff.
Yep.
Franklin is the only one that is not. So Franklin is not in that category, which again makes him a little more appealing. Lincoln Riley is probably out of the question and probably wants out. So he's another one, but
Alex Golish probably not going to make it now.
But he's on the list. Drink is still fighting for life. And Dillingham, I think they just got absolutely wallywhopped by Houston. Hey, who played for you? Who's calling defense at Houston? Do you know?
Yeah, I do.
Our boy.
Yeah, I know the coach over there at Houston too is a darn good one. That's the old Tulane coach, Fitz.
And I got Connor Wingman out there doing work. Napier.
Yeah.
Oh, is this the $5 that you read? Is the BYU guy? We already read this one.
Yeah.
$5. Gators 2. Franklin is 4-21. I know, but I do know it won't take 12 years that you have to play only top 25 to play only 25 top 10 matchups. That is a solid point.
Shout out to IU. Just absolutely bludgeoning their opponent to death yesterday.
Iowa?
No, IU 56-6.
Oh, Indiana. Golly, bro. We're going to talk about that tomorrow because it's going to heat. This Heisman campaign's gotten a little bit sexy.
Yep.
Yeah, great point. Franklin, 25 top 10 matchups. I think Billy played in the same amount in the 4 years he was here. This was over a 10-year span. That is crazy to think about. Maybe you just have enough opportunities every year. You only get 2 or 3 a year. What does that equate to? 25 over 10 years? That's just over 2 a year. That's crazy. Again, it was always Michigan, Ohio State. That's what I also says. Like, if you go look at his matchup, it was Georgia was 1 year, Alabama was 1 year, I think. It was all coaches that have won national championships. And you're like, well, that's the point, Joe. It's like, well, dude, there's only 3 of them. I'd rather have an opportunity. Like, okay, let's here. I love this. If he's 4-21, and I want to say probably out of the 21, 18 of them were against coaches that won national championships, whether it was Harbaugh, Ryan Day, Urban Meyer, Kirby was on that list as well. That's pretty much the gist of it. I think they lost to Ole Miss too one time. So Lane Kiffin. Okay, so he's lost to all championship coaches. Well, what was the edge, Sheldon? I don't know. Maybe it was because he only could cap a top 10 recruiting class every year. But it was at Florida with just the ultimate backing, and you got 90,000 strong. Screw your whiteout, come get it. Does that put him over the hump? That's what you have to find. Because is Penn State a national powerhouse? When was the last time they won a national championship? We talk about openings and jobs. Guys, we're talking about Florida. Penn State jobs open as well. Has anybody mentioned Penn State at all?
No. Penn State's last relevancy was for something they wish they could hide behind.
Is Penn State
time
what
they were
Ole Miss?
relevant.
It's not exactly Ole Miss because the history at Penn State is much greater than that. So bear with me here. Sometimes my thoughts are a little more just closed-minded, and it is in this scenario. Are they just what Ole Miss is? Like, hey, you have an opportunity to win every so often because it is Penn State, and at some point, where you're at is just you're not going to have as many opportunities to get over the hump. Notre Dame's in a very similar situation. Like, we always put Notre Dame with this high class of like place to coaches because they have their own deal. But when's the last time they won? They made it to a championship and got absolutely wallywhopped. They got laughed on. And you remember, who's our boy that had the fake girlfriend? Manti Te'o. Did you see his documentary? This was a huge one for me.
Yeah.
He goes, I knew when we walked out to that tunnel against Alabama that we were going to get our ass kicked. Why? Because I looked over and these men were 3 times my size. So at some point where you're located plays a factor into that. And I think that's where you can't just sleep on the Franklin train, guys. $2. So just based off these numbers, give me your top 4. Ooh, go back to our chart here, Cody. Are we including Lane? Should we not include Lane in this?
Yeah, Lane's 1A, right?
I know, but I feel like that's just, I mean, we're losing a free spot there. But yeah, all right, we'll put Lane in there. Franklin's in my top 4 based off these numbers.
Eli.
They didn't do Dan Lanning. But based off this chart here, let's just go off these names. I would put Fish in my top 4, Cody. I know you don't like that, but I would by this point, because knowing the history that we know of where he's been coaching at and what he's been able to do, to get Washington, bro. Washington was dead to rights when DeBoer left, dead to rights, buddy. And now Washington is going to be, in my opinion, 1 game away. Washington has 1 game. They've got UCLA, which could be a little sneaky one. They have 1 game at the end of the year that they take down Oregon. It's just tough because the Big Ten, there's not enough crossover play, which is very irritating. A 2-loss Washington team with taking down Oregon, it's going to be, in my opinion, very appealing, but they won't be ranked, unfortunately. They're not going to be ranked, so you can't take them from non-ranked to top 25.
Jedd Fisch is just the most anti-pizzazz hire on this entire board.
Yeah, you look dead to rights, big fella.
Like I just Jedd Fisch, next head coach in the University of Florida. Like it does nothing for me.
Again, he asked for 4.
It feels like Billy Napier.
Okay. All right, let me give you one more. I'm going to put Eli still on that list for my 4. Out of this list, Marcus Freeman I'm not putting on there because we've already heard that he's off.
Like truthfully, if we break it down, Eli's a better hire than Jedd. James Franklin's a better hire than Jedd. Summerall, better hire than Jedd.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, look at the proofs in the pudding there.
Yeah, but you're talking about a different league that guy's playing in compared to what Jedd's going up against.
Yeah, but he's won everywhere he's been. He's turned every single program around, and Tulane was decimated last year.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that. The problem is John Summerall is Napier 2.0. Yeah, look, Elko
over Jedd Fisch.
Do you think Elko was a pizzazz hire? Mike says that Elko wasn't a pizzazz hire.
Oh, no, he wasn't.
How's that worked out, Cody?
Pretty good.
I think we have to, as fans, we got to get away from the pizzazz. Like,
I think he had a little more juice. I think he had a little more juice coming from Duke.
For sure. I thought it was a pretty appealing hire.
I thought it was a great hire.
It was a good hire. It was a good hire, but it didn't have pizzazz hire. Jedd Fisch falls into that category of a good hire. I think a lot of people joke around like, oh, Florida just wants a guy that talks shit and that has a high power offense. I want to speak to that from somebody who talks a lot of smack, that loves the pizzazz that Lane Kiffin brings, and I would enjoy it from a content creation standpoint. I watched Brian Seneca win a World Series for the Braves. That guy has the pizzazz of a pear. Okay, I want to win championships, big fella. All right.
Yeah.
And that's why I like Napier. Like I said, me and Napier were 2 oppos. Like I would never play for a Napier team, but I loved like that. Me personally, I don't care. I know I would have. I do care because I know I'd have fun. Like I know I'm kind of back and forth here. Like I would have a blast with Lane, but I just genuinely want the best decision made. At the bottom of my heart.
I truthfully, there's only 2 coaches on this list that I could definitely say no to.
No, you have to just give me 4. You're worse than a politician with these moving the goalpost bull crap. Like the guys ask questions.
Here's the thing.
Like you're worse than Billy.
I'm out on Riot, Lashley. I'm not a fan, and
tell him, Boyan.
I'm out on.
Tell him, Tyler.
On Clark Lee.
That's not the question.
I mean, all these guys I can make a case for is the problem.
I just want 4.
Oh, just 4? Lane Kiffin, Eli, James Franklin, and if you have to make the deal with the devil, I guess Lincoln Riley.
So Jedd Fisch went 101 at UCLA.
Because we're out on Brom, right? That's not a thing anymore.
I don't know if we're necessarily out, but you I mean, it's your list. I can do whatever you want. There was just some concerns. There were some red flags that we talked about. That's all.
A lot of these are at their alma mater too, which is tough to get them away. Also,
real quick though, Jedd Fisch has a losing record over 6 years. He's 29-31, but he went 1-11 at Arizona in 2021, then 5-7, then 10-3, then got the Washington job, went 6-7 after it was dismantled, and now he's 6-2 with a chance to go 10-2, 9-3.
That's not gonna fly at Florida.
Damn, he has a $30 million buyout. Jedd Fisch does. Holy crap!
Yeah, he ain't coming.
Yeah, that's off the list. You don't take that risk.
Off the list. Thank God. Thank God.
Yeah, I don't. You can't do that. No. Lincoln Riley might take a spot then. You can't do Jedd.
Are we mad at John Summerall if he's hired?
I mean, what
Young.
If you
has won everywhere he's been.
To throw a fit, I mean that's Billy Napier 2.0 in the sense of
they say it's. I think he's better than Billy Napier, but
we're deep into the weeds.
I get it.
We're deep into the weeds
deep
here. $2. Please let me know what I missed. You missed a lot, Anthony. I think I don't remember anymore.
We might have to shut this show down before I say something wild.
$5. Have you guys heard that our boosters told Lane come now or not at all? Let me text. I don't think that's the case.
He's 38-10 as a head coach.
Summerall?
Yep. Troy. He was Troy's head coach from 2022 to 2023. Took the Tulane job 2024 present. 38-10. Not a giant sample size, but I mean, took Troy 12-2 and 11-2 overall, and then 6-1 right now. They're 6-1, and they were 9-5 last year with a loss to Florida in the Gasparilla, which had a DJ in a blender.
I saw a fun little tidbit here. I don't see anything from that. Maybe I'll do some research. And we've been having fun shows with Allie on Sunday, so maybe I'll get her on and we'll talk some more about these things. Here's a little fun little nugget here. Just an atrocious move by Brian Kelly. One of Brian Kelly's first moves as LSU's coach was firing Tommy Moffitt, a legendary strength coach who was part of all 3 LSU titles this century. Tommy Moffitt is now the strength and conditioning coach at none other than where do you guess that Tommy Moffitt at? He was part of 3 championships at LSU. Brian Kelly fired him. He went somewhere else. Where do you think he is right now?
Oh, probably Alabama.
Texas A&M. Mike Elko is just taking these cats to school. He walked into A&M and just plucked whoever he wanted. Takes Bateman from Florida, takes a few players that he wants, snatches here, snatches there, snatches right a little bit over here. Give me the greatest strength and conditioning coach of all time, and let's go ahead and let's cook these boys to a crisp. Why isn't he on the list?
Oh, he's got a big buyout. Check.
I know. But I want him. For being honest, I love Elko. It's only $22 million, less than Jedd Fisch. Sign the check, Cody.
Why haven't we? Why haven't we been clamoring?
I don't know. Why isn't that? Guys, are we missing something? Why isn't that a name?
Hold on. You're telling me that people are saying Jedd Fisch with a $30 million buyout, and we could go get Mike Elko? Mike Elko. For $23 million buyout?
I'm tweeting it. Why isn't Elko on our list? Let's see what it is.
Dude, you dropped the bag. Just drop.
And I don't want to hear no bullshit of like he wouldn't leave A&M because we put Dan Lanning on this damn list. We damn near put everyone but Kirby on the list. Why have we mentioned Elko?
Because he's a defensive guy. That's why.
It's a great question. Do we just crack the coach? Do we just go hire Elko?
Probably should just go hire Elko. Just end the show now and let's hire Elko.
He's never leaving A&M. Why would he? Listen, I understand that. But we put Dan Lanning and Marcus Freeman on the list. Okay? So if we're going to put...
And not Elko.
If we're making just make-believe wish list...
Are we mad if that's the hire? All turnkey says that's the guy. We haven't even talked about him. Like, is Florida upset if we hire Mike Elko?
No way.
It's been the guy the whole time.
Look, I don't think he leaves. I agree, Anthony. But when us Florida fans, we talk as if we just can get who we want. So I'm asking a simple question of like, we just put whoever we want on the list, and I was like, someone just said something pretty aggressive. It wasn't to me. I was like, holy crap. Twitter's wild right now. I love it. Look, I agree. Would I leave A&M with all the money? No. But I'm just saying, Florida, why isn't he on our wish list? That's all that I'm asking. I don't think he leaves either. I don't think he should leave. But I can ask questions. We need a good CEO, good recruiter, and a good game day coach. And AP was almost is right. Sam Adams, how about you? How you guys feel about game week? I think I feel weird about it. I'm excited. I can't wait to talk smack to Lou. I feel like we're in a win-win situation because if we lose, it's like, well, we fired our coach, and if we win, it's embarrassing for them. Like I feel like we're in a really good place. I'm excited to see what changes are made. I'll be more excited tomorrow after the presser once we get Billy G. I haven't heard Billy G in a week. And excited to hear what he has to say and how practice has been going. Maybe we'll get some reports. We'll see. A defensive guy can hire a great offensive coordinator. Saban did. Yeah, I don't care about that. Him being a defensive guy. Came here for the latest on the lane train, not trying to hear anything about anyone else right now. Well, Kyle, you missed a lot, buddy. We're like an hour and a half in. I mean,
we've already hired Mike Elko.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Not Florida, us. Me and Shelton.
Yeah. Let's see. Who do we get to replace Brian Kelly? LSU is going to be interesting. If they get look real quick, we'll wrap this up, and we'll see you guys later on tonight probably. But college football is gonna be what nuts because the Kentucky job is more likely gonna be open. I think Arkansas is gonna be open again, even though it's open, but open again. I think Bobby's quick stint. Yeah, I think his stint's over. I think he lost his interviewing. After the bundle, Auburn's hanging on by a thread. Hughes doing everything he can to make it stick. For Florida fans, we want Auburn to stay out of this shit show for sure. I don't think FSU is in the clear. Wisconsin played really well last night against Oregon. I think Luke might have maybe saved himself. I know they lost, but they showed some progress. I think they're going to go one more year with Luke. So I think Wisconsin is going to be in the mix. Again, LSU could be up for grabs here, and. Man, do you think Lebby kind of just maybe butchered himself with that loss, or he's still good?
No, he's got plenty of time.
Okay.
That's Mississippi State. I mean, come on.
Just ask him. Could be a wild year, boys. Could be a wild year. Great show, guys. All good stuff. A lot of great conversations. All right. Well, I think that's good for now. If anything changes, we will be here. And we'll if you guys look, keep your eyes, keep the bell turned on. We may have a show tonight.
Firing up the Elko merch.
It's Hot Top Sports where the takes don't miss. The prof with the stats, the champ with the fist. Water bringing fire, cowboy tie riding bull. Bulls calling bets, watch the stories unfold. And it's truly eyebrows running the show. It's Hot Top Sports, baby. Let's get it, let's go.